experiencing security. But before we get into that, I did want to give a big thanks to Indisium Security. They are providing both the second and the third place prizes, which are going to be a 32 gig Kangaroo E flash and a $75 Think Geek gift certificate. All right. What?
I'm going to prize.
You have to be a speaker.
Give it the sack.
Is that a sack, man?
So, for all the speakers, for all the speakers that gave talks this evening, I actually have some gifts, some Wi-Fi shirts and stuff like that. So, please see me afterwards. Thanks.
Are you ready? All right. Can people put this on, or they were?
I think
They were
right
there.
there speaking to it.
Oh, that's right.
All right, give a big hand for Marcus J. Carey.
Hello, everyone. How y'all doing? Good. All right, check this out. I'm Marcus J. Carey. People might have seen me before doing a lot of crazy stuff on the internet. Dojo Sec, Dojo Con. How y'all doing? I talk real fast, but if you listen real fast, I won't have to slow down. So, I do crazy talks. I don't like, I'm kind of a geek, technical geek, but I tend to read a lot of stuff outside of here. And when I say read, I mean audiobooks. Last year, I listened to 50 audiobooks. I listened to audiobooks from all kind of stuff, from business, marketing, all kind of stuff. And I've been really trying to study influencing things, and I think that influencing things, we can actually influence security. So I'm going to tell you one of my favorite books, and I'm going to plug this book at the end of this talk. I'm just going to give one story from the book. And this story is awesome, and the book contains loads of stories very, very similar to this. So, if you stick with me, you'll get where I'm going. It might take a long time to get there, but we'll definitely get there. All right. So this guy right here, this talk is about the sex industry in Thailand. So
You have my attention now.
There's no pictures. It's not dojo sex. It's dojo sec. All right. So anyway, this guy's a pretty cool guy, revered in Thailand. He's the longest running monarch in the world. His name is King Rama IX. This guy's the man. If you even talk about him, if you even diss him like people diss Obama, like you could be put in jail. Dude's the man. He's so cool. Back in 1988, this guy turned 60 years old. He turned 60, and so he was like, what can I do for my people? How am I going to help my people out? He was like, since I'm 60, I'm going to give them a present. What is this present going to be? He's like, I'm going to release loads of prisoners. There's 30,000 prisoners in our jails. I'm going to release them. That's going to be my country's birthday present. That's pretty amazing, isn't it? Probably can't imagine nothing like that, except when Cuba does that to America. The only time you see that happening. So this guy released 30,000 criminals from the bowels of Thailand. That wasn't a smart idea. For several reasons, right? Once he did that in 1988, the whole population, their intravenous drug use skyrocketed because there's a bunch of criminals on the streets. These criminals in the penitentiary, HIV is pretty rampant in most prisons, right? So what happened, by 1993, by 1993, 1 million people were affected with HIV. That's 5-year span. And a lot of people, the World Health Organization and all these organizations were predicting that Thailand is going to lead the nation in HIV per capita. So they had a bunch of different workers, like a bunch of smart people, and they had this guy, Dr. Wiwat. I'm not going to pronounce his last name. Has a whole lot of stuff. I'm from Texas, so I got George Bush syndrome when I try to talk sometimes. So I can't pronounce that last, but we're going to call him Dr. Wiwat. Dr. Wiwat, what he initially tried to do, you know how the war on drugs is in America? People try to, hey, don't do drugs. Well, initially, Dr. Wiwat did something very dumb. He tried to tell everybody, don't have sex. That's not going to work, right? So, then he, because that kind of like sex education in the U.S., right? That's funny. I like that picture right there. So what he found out eventually through research is he found out that 97% of the new infestations of HIV, 97% was not through homosexuality or intravenous drug use or nothing like that. It was heterosexual sex, right? So he had an idea. He wanted to convince 100% of the people in the country to use condoms. Well, that's not going to work, right? But what he did find out. Not for me. All right, I was jumping around slides, so bear with me here. We're going to get there, right? Oh, crap. I don't want to see that.
What I missed?
Okay, all right, so let me get to it. My slides are kind of messed up because I was jumping around back there. But the important thing is to remember, the important thing here is that what they found out in Thailand, there was one prostitute for every male. I mean, there was one prostitute. For every male, there was 150 prostitutes. And that's an amazing ratio, isn't it? Like, for one male, there was 150 prostitutes. There's a 1 to 150 ratio. You get that? So for every 150 prostitutes, there was one male. Holy crap, man. My bad. A 1 to 150 ratio. That's a Bushism. All right, so what happened? What happened was they couldn't stop it, right? So what they tried to do is they tried to tell all the prostitutes, hey, you guys need to wear when the prostitutes are having sex, they wanted them to enforce the males to actually wear condoms, right? And nobody would think that could probably work, probably. But what happened is they did a combination of different things. Actually, peer pressure is one of the things that they used. They knew condoms would stop the HIV, but they also used peer pressure. The older prostitutes were putting peer pressure, and I don't know how they did this. They could have been in the room watching, whatever, but they forced everybody to use condoms. And that's pretty amazing. And you're like, man, that can't work. Well, in 1997, the new infestation rate, people in Thailand, it dropped by 87%. That's pretty dang amazing, isn't it? No. It was a combination. Yeah, but the thing was, this is pretty awesome actually. If you could say you could drop this stuff, malware and hacks and all that stuff by 87%, that'd be pretty awesome, right? But the combination was, like I said, it was, do we have a timer? What's the timer? That's what.
I don't care. Keep going. I'll go with the clock too. So.
Okay. So it was a combination. Stuff that we know that's going to prevent. What's causing the problem? What was causing the problem was there was the condom use. There was no condom use in the whole sex industry. That was one problem. The solution was to use condoms, right? And then on top of that, there was peer pressure. Those are the three elements. And so the book kind of goes on about these three elements is a way to actually influence security. Like 3 ways, right? I don't know if we're doing those 3 things in information security. I think we're doing a couple of them. We're trying to prevent stuff. We know how to prevent stuff. Nope, there's no firewall. Go ahead.